Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. In today's video, we're going to be continuing reading through the entire Action Bible. So let's go ahead and continue our storyline here. About halfway through, maybe a little over halfway through this. So this is why do bad things happen to good people? This is based on 2 Kings chapter 23 verse 29 through chapter 24 of verse 4, and as well as Habakkuk. So for several years, Jeremiah, the king, and the king worked together to destroy idol worships, to turn people back towards God. Never before or since has there been a king like Josiah. He serves the Lord with all of his heart, soul, and strength. Just like Jesus said, love God with all your mind, with all your soul, with all your heart. Then one day, a military commander brings some frightening news. The Assyrian Empire is fallen apart. Just like Nahum predicted, Egypt's army is marching north. I think Pharaoh Necho hopes to grab what's left. If Egypt becomes the next superpower, they will want to control Judah as well. I must stop them. Stop Egypt, but it's one of the strongest countries in the world, and God has warned me that Babylon is the country that will one day destroy Jerusalem, not Egypt. Ignoring Jeremiah's advice, King Josiah leads his soldiers out to defend the pass of the Megiddo and into the path of the oncoming Egyptian army. In the battle, Pharaoh Necho faces off against King Josiah and kills him. So Necho and Josiah face off in a battle. This is when kings had actually fought. Our leaders actually fought in the wars. And unfortunately, he kills Josiah. Now, if you remember, God said that, he will leave Judah alone. It will be safe until King Josiah dies, because he is a very holy man. He was very, and he was very faithful in God and things. And but now that he is dead, Judah will not last long, because it was God's will for it to be destroyed at this point. When soldiers bring Josiah's body back in the chariot, Jeremiah is overcome with grief at the death of his godly king. He knows that Josiah's death marks the beginning of the end of Jerusalem. Now Jehoiakim sits on the throne of Judah as a puppet ruler for Egypt. But he does evil and leads people away from the Lord and disregards Jeremiah's warnings. So, we had this once, great king, Josiah, who was trying to lead people towards God, and was trying to, it was for the people and for God. And unfortunately, now he's been killed. And now the new king, is trying to take people away from God, take them back to the idols. He's a puppet for Egypt, and he's leading into this demise. Now, this is the book of, I believe this is Habakkuk. That's how that's pronounced. I'm not 100% sure. But let's go and get into this. At this time, the prophet Habakkuk asked God some tough questions. Why is the world so unfair? Why would God let a good king die, while wicked people lead rich and happy lives? How long, O Lord, must the righteous call for your help? Why do crimes go unpunished? Answer me, please. This is one of the biggest questions that people ask. Why does God allow murders to happen? Why does God allow rapists, to do what they've done? Especially, a lot of these evil things happen to godly people. Why is that? Well, yes, God is real, but so is the devil. And the devil will do these things to lead people away from God, to make them angry with him. They don't blame the devil. They don't, blame him. They blame God. And he would try to do these things to get you away from God. Other things may bad happen just because God is testing you, just like he did to Job. Look at all the horrible things that happened to Job, and he still stayed faithful, and God blessed him, remarkably. Sometimes good people die. Why do good people die? Well, God will take these good Christian people before they can, because oftentimes he'll take them early. That way, later in their life, they don't fall away from him. That way, they don't fall back towards the world and end up going to hell when they die. He takes them now. That way, they can be saved. That way, they can go to heaven. But it says, watch and wait. I promise that in the end, everyone will get what he deserves. But for now, the righteous must trust in me and live by faith. I will trust in the sovereign Lord who gives me sure footing on treacherous ground. In the meantime, more bad things happen to Judah. Babylon comes to power. Just like Jeremiah predicted, the Babylonian king Nebuchadnezzar conquers Egypt and forces Judah to surrender. To ensure Jehoiakim's loyalty, Nebuchadnezzar takes many of the princes and Jerusalem's finest young men as hostage. All Jerusalem sadly watches its finest young men being marched away. Among the hostage are a young man named Daniel and his 3 friends. God will soon show how he can work good out of a sad event. And that's a great thing. God can turn a lot of things that are bad into great things. You have to keep faith. We're still going to suffer here. Nothing's going to be perfect. Nothing's going to be, almost painless, but everything will be with peace. God brings joy to your life. God brings that peace to your life, that light at the end of the tunnel. And yes, bad things do happen to good people, but it is a test, whether it's a test of your faith, test to see how you react, or it is the devil trying to lead you away from God, trying to pull you away from God. But you can't let the devil win. He will do anything to get you away from your faith. And the stronger you grow in the faith, the closer you grow to God, the more the devil's going to try to attack you, and the harder it's going to be to stay for God, because he wants you to to turn your faith away. But just as the devil's real again, so is God. And God can greatly desire you, just like he did with Daniel. He even said, "Oh, Daniel, you were greatly desired." And God will take care of you. He will protect you. He will give you strength. Just keep the Lord on your mind anytime you feel like lust, or anytime you feel like, the temptation towards anything. Keep God on your mind. Keep Jesus on your mind. And he will get you through it. That I can promise you. God bless. Take it easy.